Hello everyone and welcome to Analytical Thinking, part of our Critical Thinking series. This is adapted from Analytic Thinking by Dr. Linda Elder and Dr. Richard Paul. Learning to analyze our thinking requires practice in identifying structures in use. We will discuss the structures that make up thinking in order to help us analytically think and help you as a student. Here we have the 8 elements of thinking: purpose, question, information, inferences, assumptions, concepts, point of view, implications, and consequences. We are going to go through what each of these means individually. With each element, we will discuss examples of questions you can ask yourself to target the element at hand to ensure you are being an analytical thinker. The first element we will talk about is purpose. Some example questions could be, what is your, my, their purpose in doing blank? What is the objective of this assignment? What did you say? And what is the function of this? Purpose is really like the goal or the driving force behind something. It is important to ask these types of questions to ensure you know what you are trying to accomplish. Next, state the question. A question should lay out the problem at hand and should guide our thinking. If you want some questions to help you target a question, you could ask, what is the question I'm trying to answer? Is there a better way to put this question? Is the question clear? Is it complex? I am not sure what question you're asking. Could you explain it? This is an excellent way to make sure you are staying on topic to the task at hand. These questions help you address your thinking in a manner that ensures you are being clear, concise, and leading with clarity. Asking questions to target questions ensures that our thinking will be guided with distinctness. Moving on to the element of gathering information. This could be facts, data, evidence, or experiences we use to figure things out. Gathering information does not necessarily mean that the information is accurate. However, gathering this information can be insightful depending on what the information is being used for. Some example questions to target information could be, what information do I need to answer this question? What data are relevant to this problem? Do we need to gather more information? On what information are you basing that comment? How do we know this information is accurate? Have we left out any important information that we need to consider? These questions can help you establish whether it is facts and data or someone's experience you need, and that will help you with what type of information you're looking for. Something to look out for is your inferences. An inference is an interpretation or a conclusion you come to. This is how your brain figures something out. It is important to watch your inferences to ensure that you come to conclusions that are logical and have reasoning. Some good questions you can ask yourself to check your inferences could be, what conclusions am I coming to? Is my inference logical? Does this interpretation make sense? What are you basing your reasoning on? How shall we interpret these data? Given all the facts, what is the best possible conclusion? These questions help make sure you consider all of the information at hand and come down to a few thoughts, as well as ensure you are reflecting on logic, reasoning, data, and if the conclusion you have is the best possible one. It is also important to check your assumptions. Your assumptions are beliefs that you may take for granted, and they tend to be subconscious or unconscious. Here are a few examples of questions you can ask yourself about your assumptions. What am I taking for granted? Am I assuming something I shouldn't? And ask, why are you assuming something? One of the most powerful things we can do as analytical thinkers is reflect upon our thinking and question these elements. It is also important to clarify your concepts. Concepts are ideas, theories, laws, principles, or hypotheses we use in thinking to make sense of things. Some example questions you could ask include, what idea am I using in my thinking? Is it causing problems for me or for others? I think this is a good theory. Could you explain it more fully? What is the main hypothesis you are using in your reasoning? What main distinction should we draw from the reasoning? What idea is the author using for his or her thinking? Is there a problem with it? Clarifying your concepts is an excellent way to make sure you fully understand what is at hand. These questions are geared to help you ensure that you are supporting your theories, laws, principles justifiably and with all the considerations at hand. Now we will discuss point of view. This is the place from which we view things. Your point of view can change the way you see situations and problems. Everyone has their own unique point of view that is specific to them. It is important to make sure you understand the limits of your point of view and consider all other relevant viewpoints as well. This is very important for analytical thinking. Here are a few questions you can ask yourself to check your point of view. How am I looking at this situation? Is there another way to look at it? What am I focused on? Is my view the only reasonable view? What is my POV or point of view? Ignore. How often have you studied viewpoints that challenge your personal beliefs? Am I having difficulty looking at this situation from a viewpoint which I disagree with? Am I uncritically assuming that my point of view is justified? These questions make sure that we are recognizing other perspectives as well and helps you recognize what your point of view is ignoring and reflect on if your reasoning is reasonable. It is important to use these questions to assess what our point of view is and help us reflect. This will help us as analytical thinkers. Now we will discuss thinking through implications. Implications are claims or truths that logically follow from another claim of truth. Implications follow from thoughts and consequences follow from actions. That is the distinction between an implication and a consequence. Implications are inherent, whether you see them or not. To be a good analytical thinker, it is important to think through the logical implications before taking action. Here are a few questions you could ask that target implications. If I decide to do X, what might happen? Or if I decide not to do X, what might happen? Ask, what are you implying when you say that? And what's likely to happen if we do this versus that? Ask, are you implying that blank? How significant are the implications of this decision? The goal here is to make sure you are thinking from the top all the way down to the bottom of a problem to be fully considerate of all the possible outcomes. That brings us to the end of the analytical thinking workshop. Thank you for listening.